Today we're going to be setting the ignition timing on the distributor. If you've never done one, good time to watch. The process is pretty much the same on any vehicle from the mid-90s and previous that has a distributor cap and plug wires coming off of it. Same concept goes for boats, cars, anything with an engine and a distributor that rotates to adjust the ignition timing. We did a bunch of work on this truck over the last couple days, replacing the distributor O-ring, cap, rotor, plug wires, plugs, radiator, hood struts, hatch struts, and a lot of other little parts, PCV valves, hoses, stuff like that, just to baseline it and get it ready for the next owner so that they have years of trouble-free use without having to worry about any of the little things. And I'll walk you through how to set the ignition timing and hope it's useful for you when you get to your project. First thing we're going to do is start the truck, and let it get to operating temperature. So we're going to wait till our coolant temperature is up around the middle, and I'm going to feel the hoses underneath the hood, the upper radiator hose, make sure it's starting to get warm and the thermostat is allowing warm coolant through, and then we're going to start working on setting the timing. While we're waiting on the vehicle to reach operating temperature, I'm going to go ahead and set up our timing light. I'm going to be using an Innova Digital Professional timing light. If you want to get the same one, it's a part number 5568. This one says 5568A. I don't know what the difference there. If you look for one and you want the same one, it's a 5568 that you want to search for. You can use a much cheaper timing light if you'd like, just a normal one with an inductive clamp like this that goes on the number 1 cylinder plug wire and has a simple one button operation with a light. That works just fine for what we're doing here today. This is just a little bit fancier, some more features. I just recently bought it to replace my 20-year-old Craftsman that stopped working. Hopefully this one lasts half as long and I'd be happy with it. So let's go get this hooked up. First thing you want to do is get everything hooked up. Your black and red will go to your positive and negative battery terminals to give this timing light power. And then the inductive pickup here, you'll want to put your number 1 cylinder spark plug wire right through the middle of this and gently clamp it shut. Make sure it's not snagged up against anything else. And this clamp we're not going to be using. Here's what it's going to look like. Your positive battery terminal clamp, your negative battery terminal clamp, and on this particular vehicle, a 1997 Land Cruiser LX and Lexus LX450, the topmost post on your distributor cap is going to be your cylinder number 1, and you hook it up just like so. Make sure it's loose, not snagged on anything, and it's not clamping more than just that ignition wire per cylinder number 1. So while we're waiting for our engine to reach operating temperature, just to see how this thing works, when you power it on just at first, you've got your voltage reading there on the left and your current RPM reading on the right. And let's see as we can go through these. That's your advance. You see the arrow move over to advance. You can change that to read based on how much advance you're looking for. Your dwell. Your cylinder dwell. I'm not going to be using that today. And back to your RPM. Pretty straightforward, it looks like. So I'm going to talk here before I show you the next part. There is a little timing piece of the timing cover that sticks out on most motors, this one included, and it lines up right at the edge of the crank pulley, the large crank pulley that's at the center of your engine, attaches to the crankshaft. And what you want to do is determine for your particular motor where your base ignition timing needs to be and line it up correctly with your timing light. as you're getting it adjusted so that it's set to factory settings. On this particular motor, the 1FZFE 4.5 liter inline 6-cylinder, factory ignition advanced timing is at 3 degrees, and on the cover you'll see markings for 0 degrees, 3 degrees, 10 degrees, and 15 degrees. I'll show you that here right now. Zero, 3, 10, 15. Let's try it with a flashlight. So the first mark over there, right, 0 degrees. Now on most cars, you're going to have some sort of a process to get the ignition to stay at where the base timing is without making adjustments so that you can set your actual base timing. On most Toyotas from the mid 90s and all the way back into the early 80s and maybe other years, you'll have a diagnostic plug and you want to look for 2 particular pins that you need to jumper together. You can usually use a little piece of wire like so, or a paper clip, or there's a few Land Cruiser specialty stores online that'll sell you one with flat pins on the end that might be a little bit easier for you to use. I always just twist up a little piece of wire and use it to jumper the 2 pins together. In this particular engine bay, 93 through 97 Land Cruisers, the diagnostic connector you're going to be looking for is out here in the corner. It says diagnosis right on top. There's a clip right here on the side. Pop it open and you'll see that, and on the inside you're going to see labels for the different pins. The 2 pins you want to jumper together are called TE1 and E1. Let me say that away from the engine noise. The 2 pins you want to jumper together are TE1, that's Tom Edward 1, and E1, Edward 1. And if you look at the connector cap, it shows you exactly where they are. TE1 and E1. They're going to be this one here and this one here. So we're going to jumper those 2 together. And what that's going to do for us is keep the timing exactly at the base timing setting without it jumping around. Before I do that, I'm going to make sure the air conditioner is off so the revs are not going up and down, and then we'll get going. And once you jumper them together, it's going to look like this. Make sure your jumper wire is nice and firm in those spots and there's no stragglers, little pieces of wire going to the other pins. Now we're going to check and make sure that this hose is warm, engine's at operating temperature, air conditioner is off, headlights are off so there's no additional strain on the motor. Our timing light, if you have one with a digital display, you want to make sure it's set to 0 degrees of advance. If you have one without a digital display, it'll already be at 0 degrees of advance. So what we're going to do is point it down here at the timing marks right there, and you can't see it in the video, but it's flashing, and every time it flashes you should see the timing mark, and that timing mark, a little white mark on the crank pulley, will line up with the timing cover where you had those marks that were 0, 3, 10, and 15. I'm going to go ahead and set it to 0 and then advance it over to 3 degrees where the factory setting is. Now in order to make the adjustments, you only have 1 bolt to mess with. So here's your distributor, and there's a 12 millimeter bolt right there. And let me see if I can get you a shot of that. It is right there, and it's in a slotted hole on the distributor housing bracket. And once you loosen that, you don't have to loosen it but more than maybe a turn and a half or 2. The entire distributor assembly will rotate. So I've loosened up that bolt, and now you can see, let's see, the distributor rotates this way, and it rotates this way quite a bit, and you can see how that changes how the engine sounds and how it's running. So the next thing I'm going to do, I won't be able to get it on camera, I'm going to take my timing light that's flashing. You see the light there. I'm going to point it down at my timing marks, and I'm going to slowly adjust this till it gets to 0, and then adjust it back to where I get to 3 degrees of timing advance on the timing cover versus the mark on the crank pulley. Now I've got it hand tightened on the bolt, and again, I don't think you can see this on the video, but it is at exactly at 3 degrees of ignition advance timing now. So that's all set. I'm going to go ahead and snug that bolt down with my wrench, and then get all of this cleaned up out of the way. And then once we do that, we're going to pull the pin from the diagnostic connector and close that back up, and we should be all done. Make sure you go off your checklist and get all your tools out of here. Pull your connector, close the cap for this guy so dust doesn't get in there. Get all your clamps, everything out of the way. Make sure that bolt's snug. It's always easy to miss something. A lot of people always miss that pin in the diagnostic connector and wonder why the car is running funny afterwards. It's because the ECU is not doing its thing when it comes to ignition advance when you go through the RPM and load ranges. So all set, everything's done. We're going to take it for a test drive and see how everything's doing.